Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be addressing the United Nations General Assembly on the 27th at 10:30 in the morning. Great amount of anxiety and also there is tremendous enthusiasm as far as the Indian community is concerned, and also the Indian leadership which is already here, primarily because this is the first time Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be addressing a kind of a platform where 193 nations are going to be sitting together listening to him. But on the sidelines of the UNGA speech by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the climate change meeting called by the Secretary General has been raising some amount of anxiety for the Indian delegation here. There is a certain amount of displeasure at the fact that countries like India and China, though participating through their ministers, the top leaders like Narendra Modi and also their leadership have not really joined in. Earlier in the day, I caught up with Mr. Prakash Javadekar, the Environment Minister, and this is what he had to say about how India is trying to build a consensus, use this climate change meeting called by the Secretary General at the United Nations, and also about Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit. Beyond the climate change meeting here for which we are here, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit, what are the big benefits India is looking forward to as far as his first visit, say even to the UN, and also his meeting with President Barack Obama is concerned?
I think all the three events are very important. UN meeting is important for it's a world body and we recognize it. We need our place, rightful place in Security Council, as well as we need our place, and we have to declare that yes, India has arrived, and therefore even world is waiting for a leader who has won the largest democratic mandate, and therefore people are eager to see him, listen him, and I think it will be a big event in UN, and he will make their very progressive policies put on the table so that world can have a satisfaction that here is a leader, here is a country which is talking all pro things, pro poor, pro progress, pro and not a regressive.
One last question to you, that there are a lot of irritants between India and USA right now. The visa issues, the nuclear liability and several others. Do you think that in the absence of a big ticket announcement in the meeting between Mr. Modi and Mr. Barack Obama, at least there will be an expectation that these irritants can be removed and a future road can be created?
I think this meeting between two meetings between Obama and one-on-one with Modi ji are very important, and America is also looking forward and we are also looking forward, because we believe that Indo-US relationship is a strategic relationship benefiting mutually, and therefore we need each other's cooperation on a strong wicket, and that foundation will be laid by Modi ji in his visit. And third dimension of his visit is the Indian diaspora, which is greeting him. It's a terrific event. Nobody could imagine a foreign leader coming on US soil and holding medicine like a rock star or somebody, but where the tickets are already sold, and now more people will be in Times Square to see on screen what is happening in Madison Square 2 blocks away. So this is how there will be a biggest political rally in a way, or a biggest reception to any foreign leader given, political leader of a foreign country in America. That's the goodwill. That's the goodwill he has created, and world is watching him with much hope that he will deliver the promises we are making, a new India, India that has arrived, an India that is very positive towards international cooperation.
Thank you, Mr. Javadekar. We know that you have to leave Times Square very soon and hit the lanes of Maharashtra for an election. Thank you very much for speaking to us. Thank you. I have been meeting several Gujaratis in New York over the last few days. Though there are 3.5 million Indians who have turned citizen here, 1.5 million who are here on studies or visa or some other reason, but there is a very strong, large contingent of Gujaratis, and they told me something very interesting, that the Gujarati, why he has succeeded here in New York or in the United States of America, because he puts his head down and quietly looks at one thing, that he has to earn money and he has to earn a living. And I have Mr. Zafar, Sareshwala, a businessman who knows Narendra Modi, has worked closely with me, and Ashishkumar Chauhan, who is from the BSc, and These are the people who are being called the money people, who will know what exactly Narendra Modi is really looking for as far as his first visit as Prime Minister to New York is concerned. Zafar, first to you. There is no big ticket announcement which we can see right now on the horizon. There could be, and although what we can say, there are a lot of irritants. You know, there have been elements like the visa issue is there, the IPR issues, the civil nuclear liability. There has been some kind of a lull in the relationship after the high of 2008, the nuclear Indo-US civil nuclear deal. How is Prime Minister Narendra Modi going to utilize this opportunity? Because after all, the Gujarati in him knows that he has to bring in monies.
See, you know, big ticket investments, big manufacturing companies to India, they are, you know, part of things which will follow, or those are the things which will fall in place. But the most important thing about Mr. Modi is not only this visit, he is known to convert enemies into friends. And that I have seen, I mean, in 11 years. Anybody who was a fiercest critic of Modi, his arch enemy, the moment they meet Modi, they convert into his friends.
There is an issue here. He was denied a visa, or his visa was revoked by the United States government. It is the mandate of the public of India, people of India, which has changed a lot of things. In this scenario, what is he looking forward in terms of investments? What kind of investments will he be looking for? Or are there certain specific areas which are targeted areas which you would like to focus on?
See, this is the beginning. I mean, Mr. Modi is coming here and meeting, you know, to create a rapport with the US administration. This is the beginning out. And then the next on the agenda, the make in India. And the best place for that is United States, because US has some very large manufacturing companies who had once upon a time invested in China. But you know, China with the aging population and all that, they need to look at India. And Mr. Modi has already created that aura of him by, you know, doing what he has done in Gujarat. So these companies would be for them to come to India. Secondly, there are large pension funds, institutional investors who are sitting on trillions of dollars.
Why should they come to India?
Because see, India is one place where there is going to be tremendous growth. I mean, one is the India's large population, growing middle class. And now, you know, with Modi coming to India, the biggest thing with Modi is that we had lost this kind of confidence. There was crisis of confidence. Now with Mr. Modi coming to the helm of the affairs, that built up of confidence is there. His governance, his you know, model of growth, his model of growth in the economy. Once that happens, everything else will fall in place.
Ashish, I would like to bring in here. You see, the India as a large market was always there. If you see the last few years, Indians had the money, but they were sitting on it. Why do you share this euphoria that because in the last 3 months, we have not seen the kind of reform kickstart that was needed? If you see, the insurance sector was being talked about as one of the first early reform processes. That has not happened. That is caught in Parliament. There is still a select committee looking at it. Do you think that the markets will need something, you know, at least one driving engine to start something which can be called the revival?
In fact, I think the election and the results itself has been that moment of kick-starting the economy, because the world was looking at two countries very seriously over last 1 year. One was Brazil, another is India. India has given a huge mandate to the Prime Minister Modi and his government, while as the Brazil has become very sort of doubtful in its mandate to the administration. And that has basically created doubts in the people's minds. While as today morning itself, I was sitting with one of the largest institutional investors in India, and he said that we were looking at these two countries seriously, and it's in India's moment now. We need to seize the moment. And it's not
for somebody like you, what has changed on the ground? The euphoria of a mandate cannot last very long. When it comes to economics, a government needs to build certain very strong ground rules, or groundwork has to be done, so that on which the investors and all other players, maybe like you, all of them can build upon. You see, the societies can build upon, the foundation needs to come. Where is that coming from? Do you see that? What are the two at least items which you will expect should be done in the next few months, so that all the euphoria and the support which is generated in places like United States of America will materialize?
In fact, the activity Yojana, is a phenomenal success, and in a sense it's building on that background. It's creating that background for people to come and participate in Indian economy. India is basically a very young country. Out of 1.3 billion people, around 50% are below age 25, and they need to be brought into the mainstream, into the financial inclusion process, and that's what is happening. And similarly, in terms of from the foreign investors' perspective, they are looking at kick-starting of the projects which had kind of stalled, the large projects of ports, the mining, airports, electricity.
What about, say, for example, India's stand at the WTO regarding the trade facilitation agreement? With India going back on that, somewhere before the United States open its purse strings for India for investment, the US will like to have an agreement in place in terms of the TFA. What about these kind of minor irritants? Don't you think all these also needs to be removed? Say, a visa on arrival for the US businessmen, so that
Thank you very much. With that, we come to the end of this program.
The Prime Minister is scheduled to speak on Saturday the 27th in the morning. He's the 6th speaker, so we expect his speech would be around 10:30 in the morning. The issues of importance for India have been already highlighted, and we have circulated a note to the rest of the UN members.
perhaps in India there has been a great amount of buzz about this fact that how Prime Minister Modi might utilize his visit, perhaps as an indicator or the kind of atmosphere which is building. Where are we? How far away are we from, say, a reform in the UN process, especially since the last one was way back in the 60s?
Yes, in fact, we can build on what happened in 1963. The fact that there are a large number of countries who are not represented in the United Nations today, but who can play a very important role in giving credibility and substance to the United Nations, is one of the reasons why India has staked a claim to be a permanent member of an expanded and reformed Security Council. Without effective Security Council, the current crisis that is mushrooming all over the world will act as a big deterrent to growth, stability and development.